This is gritty, gritty, gritty. This is real. This is our space. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative. Welcome back to Confessions of a Creative. My name is Dee, and this is where we discuss the unique journey of creative entrepreneurs. So if this content resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so today we are talking to one of my friends and a consummate creative, Emma Wills. We talk about her embracing her creative side, we talk about her journey, and we talk about a new exciting venture of hers called Supa Fix, where she fixes your foodie dilemmas. So without much further ado, let's get into this interview. Okay, so welcome to Emma. How are you today?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I am doing fantastic. I am so excited to have you on today. And we want to know all about Superfix. Tell us about it.
Okay, sure. So I am the owner of the foodie brand Supa Fix. Basically, what I did was I combined my two favorite things in life, which are food and comedy, and combined that with my video production and content creation background, and came up with the social media channel called Supa Fix. So I'll tell you a bit more about what it actually is.
I
Um,
love that.
so the brand is about fixing your foodie dilemmas. So each week you can watch a video which consists of a comedy sketch about a foodie dilemma, and then it's followed up by the solution, which would be the food recipe. So I'll give you an example. Imagine someone who has just eaten, say, pasta or bread, and they get really bloated when they eat wheat, and they get on the bus and someone offers them a seat because they think they're pregnant. and, by, and by the way, this has actually happened to me.
Oh
this is a
no.
this is a true life experience. It was so embarrassing, and I stupidly said to the guy, "No, I'm fine." So he then was like, "Oh, you're not pregnant then. You're just fat or bloated, or I don't know." So anyway, that did happen to me. So then the solution in the video would be a gluten-free recipe. So that's basically how the Superfix works. So if you are a foodie and you like to have a laugh, this is definitely the channel for you.
I think that is so cool because the comedy, it's relatable. There are things that are relatable. It's not outlandish. So for
Right.
instance, you said the one of the scenarios is something that happened to you. So there's stuff that happens to us, but the comedy makes it, fun, and then you give us something practical. So I think that's very, very cool.
Yeah. So it's entertaining and educational at the same time.
Exactly, exactly. I really haven't found or come across a channel like that with that specific twist. So I think that's very cool how you kind of, carve that out for yourself.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's so many foodie brands out there, aren't there? Like,
Yeah,
Tasty, for example, and it's purely just food. And obviously, people would really enjoy and love watching food. But
yeah.
I don't know. I just was like, okay, I've got to come up with something that's going to make my brand stand out. And yeah, the comedy aspect seems to be connecting with people.
Love it, love it, love it. So, I mean, you guys obviously, if you want to go and you do want to go over to Emma's channel, you're going to see all the links in the description. So, most definitely after this interview, you can head straight there and check it out. Her channel as well as her other social media.
Yes, definitely
Okay.
go over there and check it out. I literally just launched. So all the support I can get right now would be fantastic. And like I said, if you're a foodie, this is the channel for you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, this is so exciting, and it's like a new chapter for you. Now, we want to know about your journey leading up to this, because I mean, personally, I know a little bit about it, but we want to know like about your journey leading up to being an entrepreneur and just stepping out on your own and doing your own thing.
Absolutely. So I have quite a lot to say about this.
That's no problem.
Um, so just bear with me. I mean, I'm hoping, your creatives out there will be able to relate to a lot of what I'm about to say about my journey. So,
Sure, I'm
um,
sure.
I knew from a very young age that I was a creative. In school, for example, I wanted to dance and I wanted to sing and do drama, and I wasn't really interested in anything else, maths and science and those kind of things, the academic part.
Right.
I remember even, outside of school, just being in my room as a child, like just creating concepts for businesses all the time. It's kind of weird looking back at it now, but I would just come up with ideas for businesses, as silly as they are. It could be like, oh, I'm going to open a chocolate shop and everything's going to be chocolate. I don't know, whatever. But I would always be coming up with
Right.
businesses. And then I also knew I never wanted to work for someone. I always knew from a very early age I wanted to be self-employed. I didn't really know what that meant, but I don't know. I just didn't have this sort of ambition to work for a company and work my way up and do the whole 9 to 5 thing.
Right.
However, I did. Like I'm sure a lot of creatives out there, I did that for a really long time. I found myself working in office jobs, and doing my creative ventures on the side.
Right.
And I've done everything from music production to songwriting, singing, graphic design, writing, everything. But I
Right.
was living a
Right.
lie. Like every day I go to the office and I'd be like, why am I here? This is just not me. Like, this is really like suffocating me.
Right.
Um, so my corporate background is like working mainly as an event manager for corporate events, mainly like business conferences. So that did not have any creativity whatsoever. So, obviously event industry sounds very glamorous, but I was working specifically in business events. So it's just, yeah, not, I wasn't able to, express anything there from a creative point of view. Very, very boring, very same setup every single event.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, yeah, coming back to the Supa Fix now and how that was born. One of my like more recent ventures, I had started a premium cupcake company. And to me, it was so much more than baking. Like I wanted it to be a brand with like e-commerce and event catering and classes and, et cetera, et cetera. And I did this for about 3+ years. And it was very successful, but it wasn't the brand that I had like visualized. It never grew to its, full potential. Um,
Right.
but along the way, I had learned how to use a DSLR camera, and I realized that, oh, I could film and post videos of myself decorating cupcakes for my Instagram channel. So, in posting these videos and, started to build more of a following, I then started to get approached by food and beverage companies who were asking me to then create videos for them. So this is definitely like where my passion for then video production really took off. And I was like, maybe I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
However, like all my creative ideas before, the passion for cupcakes then started to decrease. And at that point, I was like, okay, I really had to like sit myself down and be like, okay, what is going on with you? Like, why do you keep starting all these creative ventures and stopping them all the time? Like, something is not quite right. And honestly, when I found the answer, it completely changed my life, because I'm sure a lot of creatives out there will be able to relate to what I'm about to say. Now, not all creatives are the same, but
Right.
I found that a lot of creatives that I know anyway, they are not interested in like the businessy stuff, like the boring stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, creating a business plan or market research or Gantt charts or spreadsheets, bleh, boring stuff, right? So, but however, those are very essential things that you need to take your creative idea and turn it into an actual business. So,
Yeah.
if I had it my way, I would just be sitting in my room by myself creating all day, all night, probably would never leave, you know. But those parts are really important to move your idea to the next level. And on top of that, creatives, our brains get bombarded with, you know, ideas like constantly. So that's a
Yes.
massive distraction, right? So if you're not following a plan as a creative, and you're just creating, a new idea can come in and just swoop you off your feet, and then off you are, onto the next idea. And that's what was happening to me. So my lovely husband, he's the one that helped me break this cycle. He's a creative, but he's also got the businessy part too. So he
Mhm.
basically was like, okay, you really need to implement all this business part. Like that's basically why you are on this cycle of just starting new things all the time. So thank God for him. So eventually the cupcakes did come to an end. However, I was still, I was then left with like a love for video production and for food. And then that's actually how Supa Fix was basically born. And like I've already mentioned before, I wanted to come up with an original and relatable way to present food videos. So that's kind of my journey from sort of like the corporate world to being like, right, I'm accepting that I am 100% a
Yeah.
creative and I'm doing, and I'm going to run my new creative venture in a way that hopefully it will become a successful business.
You know what I love? What's really coming through in listening to you recount your story or your journey, I would say, is how important self awareness is.
Mm,
Because, like, more than three times with what you've just, related, more than three times you said, I was like, okay, wait, what are you trying to do? Or what are you doing? Or you said, well, I felt this way. You know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
you were really well, you took the time to like kind of take stock of how is this making me feel? Am I really liking this? Why do I feel this way? And then working along with that. And I think that is so key and so crucial.
Yeah. And I think also as I've got older, it's just like you realize like, hold on a second, like, when you're like in your early, I don't know, teens or 20s, you just sort of think, oh, I've got loads of time, and then as you get older, suddenly like, oh, hold on a second, you don't, like, tomorrow's not promised. And I'm like, wait, hold on,
Yeah.
why am I living my one life as a lie, like completely not as the person I want to be? And it only really hit me, I guess, in the last maybe sort of year or so. But I also would like to make a point though, because I don't want people thinking like, oh wow, like, she was like, okay, I'm done with the corporate world, I'm gonna go off and accept that I'm a creative. And I also want to put it out there that I was also put in a position that kind of forced me into that too. I don't want everyone to be like, oh, she's so brave for doing that, because what happened was the pandemic happened. Because as you remember, I was working in the events industry, so
Right.
back in March I lost my job. So, you know what that meant? I was like, well, I'm not getting another event job for a while. So,
Wow.
I literally that same week, I went and got a MacBook Pro, and I was like, right, let's start this Supa Fix thing. Because I've been sitting on this probably for at least just under maybe 12 months. I had the concept.
Wow.
I was coming
Yeah.
up with, I was writing stuff in the background, but yeah, it probably was about at least a year before obviously the pandemic then happened, and I was like, right, I've got to do something about this now. So it launched me kind of into this creative space. So obviously the pandemic is a horrible thing, but it has really worked for me because it gave everybody, not just me, it gave everybody time,
Yeah.
you know. And I've literally just been working on this launch for like the past, well, since March. It's taken up a lot of my time. And I was thinking to myself the other day, if I had still been, working for my previous company doing events, I would not have launched. There's no way I would have had the time, because obviously events take
Mhm.
a lot of time. So I just want to put it out there that I was put in a situation that gave me basically time to do this as well.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have that experience too. You just hear a lot of ex well, obviously, you hear a lot of stories about people who they kind of found the silver lining within this crisis. They're like, okay, well, it forced me to have to take stock or halt and pivot,
Yes.
try to go in a different direction. So awesome. Super Fix, Super Fix is born finally. And as I said before, you guys check it out. The links are in the description. So finally, Emma, what I love to ask people is this question. Can you give us at least one nugget of wisdom you would impart to yourself 10 years ago, if you could now, if you could do that?
Yeah, sure. I always find that question really an interesting one, because I kind of, we become the people that we are through our experiences, so it's kind of hard to kind of be like,
So,
oh, I would tell myself to do this and that. But if I really had to, and this, this nugget of wisdom, I'm sure will help, especially creatives out there. So if I had to say something, I would say to my younger self, accept that you are a creative and stop wasting time
uh,
trying to be something that you're not. You're wasting time. And like I said, you as you experience things, you learn, you grow. But I
yeah,
I knew what I was. Like, some people don't know. There's a lot of people I speak to, they're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, I'm not happy, but I don't know what I
true.
want to do. and I always encourage them to say, well, just spend some time, like to get, do a spider diagram and write down some ideas. But with me, it's like
Yeah.
I've known from such a young age what I was about.
Yeah.
So definitely I would just say, like, just try and, yeah, try and sort of, yeah, just accept, yourself as a
Lean
creative.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but, I also know that a lot of creatives also feel a bit like, for example, if you're a creative who doesn't have a very strong creative network around you, like, you can also feel a bit
Yeah.
left out, a bit strange, a bit lonely. So I've been through all those things. I still go through those things now. So it's like I'm telling my younger self to accept, that you're a creative, but it was hard. It still is hard. It's not like being a creative is sort of seen as sort of the norm. So I don't really understand how, because so many people, are, and like even becoming like a YouTuber is still is in some way still considered a bit like, oh, that's like a real thing. You can actually
True.
make a career from that. And it's like, yeah, of course you can. Like, there's millions of people doing it, and obviously back then we didn't even have like social media, so it was harder back then. But I don't know. That's my nugget of wisdom. Accept who you are.
That is a good nugget of wisdom. Lean into that creative side, as you said. Um, accept who you are, because it gives you more time, and I guess more opportunities to try different things as well within, leaning into that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. I
Well,
had
thank you
so
for
much
having me.
fun. Yeah, of course. And I can't wait for everybody to go on and check out your channel, interact. I love the first video.
Oh, thank
And
you.
yeah, I'm not gonna like spill what it is, but I love what you did in that video, and that's one of my favorite things. So there you go.
So much more to come. And if you follow me on my Instagram, then you'll see not just the videos, you'll also see some other kind of funny food content. And I've also got some foodie merchandise coming. So watch out for that
Oh,
too.
okay, fantastic. So you guys check it out. And as per usual, we want to thank you so much, Emma, for being on here. I'm pretty sure you're going to be hearing more from Emma in the future.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.
Yay. Okay, so signing off and sending you guys so much love right now. Talk soon.
This is gritty, gritty, gritty. This is real. This is our space. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative.